Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson's Core. Today we get to talk about NBA basketball. Not just NBA basketball, but NBA basketball on Christmas Day. Today with me, I've got the one and only Mr. Reo.
What's up, guys?
And so we have been watching football because obviously today is Christmas Eve and there's been football games on all day long. There will be a few football games on Christmas Day as well, but the NBA really runs Christmas Day. It kind of always has. So, Rio, I just want to ask you, man, what are you doing on Christmas Day? Will you be watching any of these games? Or if you will be, what game are you looking for most in particular?
I am hoping to catch the Grizzlies, Warriors, and Suns Nuggets games. I'll be busy probably for the first three games. I got two different family Christmases to go to. But I'm looking forward to it, man. We got a lot of stars in these matchups, a lot of MVP candidates, and then the Knicks.
Yeah, absolutely. The game that I'm most excited for and looking forward to watch would be the Bucks versus Celtics. That one, just because Jason Tatum is going up against Giannis, obviously, and then yes, AD's not playing, but I love Luka and the Mavs, and LeBron, still carrying the Lakers pretty well now. They're getting back on their feet, and so I would say probably those two games I'm most looking forward to. I would normally say the Warriors and Grizzlies, but since Curry's out, that game is going to be a blowout. So I'm not really looking forward to that game. But injuries are a part of it, and it really sucks because a lot of teams, especially the NBA, go into it and they're like, okay, we're making the schedule. We've got to put the best games together on NBA or on Christmas Day because we know so many people are going to be at home with their families watching, being sent around the TV and whatnot, and to see these injuries, it just really stinks. But here we go, guys. We are onto it to game one. It's kind of feels like I'm going into the finals because we're going game one, game two, game three, game four, game five. But the first game we have at 12 o'clock is the 76ers playing the New York Knicks. Now, this is in Madison Square Garden. And the best player from the 76ers is Joel Embiid. Now, he's averaging 33 points per game. He's averaging 9.8 rebounds per game, and he's averaging 4.6 assists per game. With that being said, the best player on the Knicks is Julius Randle, and he's averaging 22.7 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, and he's averaging 3.6 rebounds a game. Now, before I let Rio go and say who he thinks is going to win this game, just want to let him know that the 76ers are favored minus 2.5. Now, what are your thoughts going in to game one?
I feel like 76ers, they try to own the Knicks. I feel like that East Coast rivalry just runs so deep. And I feel like the Knicks, they're going to try to make a show. They've been playing, better than I think probably what they were expected to play. But I don't think they're necessarily on the Sixers level. So I think the Sixers are going to pull it out.
Absolutely. I'm going 76ers as well. I think this will be a closer game just because it's in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks played the Bulls last night, and DeMar DeRozan was able to come up clutch and hit that mid-range dagger, what he's known for. But that game was, pretty close. RJ Barrett had a poster, and, other people had a poster as well. So the Knicks, are coming off a very close game that they possibly should have won yesterday. And the 76ers played really well yesterday. I don't remember who they played exactly, but Embiid had 40-some points, but James Harden had 21 assists. Did you see that last night, Rio?
Yeah.
It
was against...
Who'd they play?
It was against the Clippers, I think.
Yes. They did play the Clippers. And so, that game, came down to the wire. But, Joel Embiid, if Joel Embiid and James Harden are clicking, then they have potential, to win and to be the number one seed. Rio and I kind of talked about it on our first NBA podcast earlier this year. I think, the 76ers are going to be the number one seed in the East. And start the season, everyone's like, what are you talking about, Riley? I just can't believe what's going on. But, they're one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. I think they've won 7 in a row. I think the Nets have as well. I think I saw on social media. So, they're coming up. They're trying to catch, the Celtics and the Bucks as well. And I think game one's going to go pretty well. I think it's a great game to start off the day. It may not be the best game, but it's a great game to just kick off NBA on Christmas Day.
True.
Then we go into game two. And we've got the LA Lakers versus the Dallas Mavericks. Now, LeBron James is obviously the best player on the Lakers. And he's averaging 27.4 points per game. He's averaging 8.2 rebounds a game. And he's averaging 6.7 assists per game. Now, Luka, being the best player on the Mavericks, is averaging 32.8 points per game, 8.3 rebounds a game, and 8.7 assists per game. Now, these guys are almost averaging a triple-double. How crazy is that? You know, LeBron being in his 20th year, almost averaging a triple-double. Luka only being in his third year, I believe, almost averaging a triple-double. And the Mavs are favored -8. Now, Rio, go ahead. Give me your opinion on this one. Do the LA Lakers survive without AD on Christmas? Or do the Mavs and Luka take care of LeBron and ship him back to LA?
I think as long as Luka is healthy, he's been dealing a little with a right quad injury. So, but I think that he's clear to go, and I think he is going to play. I think that they're going to take care of the Lakers. I think with AD, Lakers would win. I know the Lakers haven't had the best season that they thought they were going to have, but I think with AD, the Lakers win. I'm really liking what AD is doing this season. I know that he's hurt, and he can't seem to stay healthy for a whole season, but I got the Mavericks on this one, man. What about you?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. Rio and I talked a little bit the other day, and I believe personally, and Rio kind of believes it as well, that Luka is our Kobe Bryant. And Rio can back me up on this because what he's able to do, he's averaging stats like Kobe did. He's putting up numbers like Michael Jordan did, and he's the best player on the Mavericks. And you know they brought in Christian Wood, and hopefully that will help them elevate them. Because Porzingis didn't work out. To get them to a championship level, but I just think the way that Luke is able to play, he's one of the best international players that we've ever seen. And that's why I've got to go with the Mavs as well. I think even if the Lakers had AD, I don't think the Lakers would be able to get it done. I think that just Luka is just the best player in the league, me personally. I think I had him winning MVP last year. I think he got hurt towards the end and he ended up not winning it. But the MVP race is always hard. Because Embiid's putting up a lot of points. Giannis, Tatum, John Moran out here. Even Curry, Jokic. So there's arguably, 5 players who can always win the MVP every year, and then it gets down to 2 or 3. But my pick is Luka this year, and I just think that the Mavs, they are favored -8, and I think that they'll cover that. So
yeah, dude, I agree with you. I agree with you on that Kobe thing. I think he could just get any shot that he wants wherever he wants.
Very true. And he had 50 the other night versus the Rockets, so kind of crazy.
And I agree with the MVP statement, too.
Okay, all right. We're on the same page here. For Game 3, now this is my game of the week, so I'll go first and kind of talk about it a little bit. And then Rio's game of the week is, Game 4. So it's the Bucks versus the Celtics. Now this is at home for the Celtics. They are favored -5. And Jason Tatum is averaging 30.5 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. But on the other end of the floor, you've got the Greek Freak. He is averaging 31.4 points per game, 11.3 rebounds, and 5.2 assists. Now, this guy knows how to win an MVP. This guy's done it, two times already? So this game is going to be awesome. You can't ever count out the Bucks. You can't ever count out the Celtics. This is the number 1, number 2 team in the East right now going at it. And do I think that the Celtics cover -5? They probably can. But I don't think they cover -5. I think this comes down to the wire. I think it's a 2-3 point game. Either way, because eventually at the end people are fouling and whatnot, with the time running out, so free throws are being shot at the end. But I think the Celtics, Jason Tatum, he puts up a monster game. I think he has probably 45 points. I think it's going to be a duel between him and Giannis. I think Giannis drops at least 40 as well. So both these players are going to go hard, go at it. And then, Jaylen Brown on the Celtics, is definitely going to help out. And then, Chris Middleton on the Bucks. And, these teams play team ball. And obviously they run it through, one player in particular on each team. But they're able to play team ball. They have great head coaches. And me personally, I believe the Celtics are coming out on top. But Rio, are you going to disagree with me here?
I'm not, man. I'm not. As good as Giannis is, as crazy dominant as he is by himself, and he does have Middleton. I think Middleton is kind of disappointed this season a tiny bit. just from the past few seasons.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like Tatum's got a little more help with Brown. I think that Brown could be a star of his own team.
Very true.
But so I just think, and they've been coming together. They got the top seed right now. I think they're fighting for the top seed, them and the Bucks. So that's a pretty cool matchup. So I got the Celtics with you, man.
All right, so we're both agreeing on the Celtics here, and I was kind of surprised because this game could be a toss-up. It could definitely go either way. But now we're going into Game 4, which Rio, I'm going to give the statistics real quick, and I'm going to let you go because this is the game that you wanted to watch, and Game 4 and Game 5 is what you're going to be able to watch later that day anyway. So starting with the Warriors, obviously Steph Curry's out with a right shoulder injury, so this is a huge blow to the Warriors and to the NBA and all our fans in general. This was going to be a great matchup, between the 7th and 8th seed last year, I think. The Warriors were able to send the Grizzlies home, I believe, and they've been talking trash all season, and this was a very serious game that was going to be played during the season. And I can't write down Curry stats because obviously he's not going to be there. So, the next best player is Klay Thompson. He's averaging 18.1 points per game, 3.6 rebounds a game, and 2.4 assists per game. While on the other side, the young dogs, Grizzlies, the Bears, Ja Morant is averaging 26.5 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, and 7.9 assists and 6.4 rebounds a game. Man, I can't speak today. I'm getting a little tired. The Grizzlies are favored -6.5. Rio, take it away, man.
Riley, I think I'm going to give us our first disagreement here.
Okay.
I know that Curry's out. This is still going to be my game of the week. That anticipation that you talked about has been building all season. That was a dogfight in the playoffs, dude. I loved that series between them. And I think Curry being out always gives the Warriors a chip on their shoulder. I think Poole has been a little disappointing this season. It's time for him to step it up this game. It's time for Klay to go crazy and touch the ball 9 times and score 40. And it's time for Draymond to be the playmaker and defensive leader he can be. So I got the Warriors in this one, even though Ja is a crazy man, and he will probably score a lot of points. But go ahead and give me the upset Warriors, even though Curry's out.
Wow. No, definitely not something that I was expecting personally, just because Curry is out and he is the leader and the focal point of that team entirely. But, with having Klay and Draymond and Jordan Poole, all those people that you pointed out, and plus they have young stars, and, Curry's eventually going to retire, or, I don't personally see Curry ever leaving this team. I see him retiring with this team. And, with that being said, they have young bucks. They obviously know that they need to think about and worry about the future. And so they kind of have already started doing that. So, as well as you said that, those 3 players need to step up. The younger players need to step up as well. And so, maybe, being on Christmas Day, this is the biggest game besides being in the NBA Finals, honestly. And I think that if they can step up, the Warriors can absolutely, steal this game on Christmas, which would be kind of crazy. It's kind of like the Grinch coming and stealing all the Christmas presents. So, but I honestly just don't see that happening, just because, Ja has a chip on his shoulder and the whole Grizzlies team does as well. So personally, me here, I'm going Grizzlies. I think that Ja probably drops 30 points. And this is going to be a statement game for him. And he's going to be like, look, you sent us home. Now we're sending you home. We're sending you a statement. And we're not going home this year. And so I think the Grizzlies are the team to beat in the West as far as a young team and who has the most to prove and wants the championship the most, I would say.
I agree, man. He does have that dog in him. That's going to be scary for the Warriors.
But it's going to be a great game. So I agree with you on that. Then for Game 5, we've got the Phoenix Suns coming in and playing the Denver Nuggets. Now, with the Denver Nuggets, they score a lot of points because they've got the best big man in the entire league. I heard Kendrick Perkins say this, and I honestly can agree with him. He's the best big man to ever touch the ball.
Jokic.
is the best big man to ever touch the ball.
Those are mighty words.
And yes, you could say, oh, Kareem is, or, you know, whatever other center you want to say. And yes, we can argue and we can disagree with it all day, but Jokic is a walking bucket, bro. He will drop you a triple double like he's sleeping. Like it's crazy the amount of talent that he has and the team basketball that he's able to play. And I'll just go ahead and go into his stats. Jokic is averaging 24.9 points a game, 10.9 rebounds, and 9.3 assists. So damn near averaging a triple double already. And then the Suns, who have Chris Paul back now. He was struggling with injury earlier in the year. He's back now. And so Devin Booker's, been taking a lot more shots. And it's his team anyways. But he's averaging 28 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, and 5.8 assists. Now, with this being said, the Nuggets are minus 4.5. And I think it's going to be a dogfight. But I think the Nuggets are going to get it done. And the reason that I said Jokic is the man. Jamal Murray's back, man. I'm super excited and hyped for that because he's been playing decent. I think he's averaging like 18 points per game, whatever. But he's one of my favorite players to watch. And, to see him, go down with torn ACL, whatnot, was sad. But now that he's back, it helps Jokic a lot. And I know Michael Porter Jr. is kind of hurt right now, but Aaron Gordon and the rest of that team has to step up as well. And yes, the Suns 2 years ago, went to the NBA Finals and, should not have lost to the Bucks or whatnot. But, they got a chip on their shoulder. Chris Paul isn't, going to stay on the Suns forever. He's eventually going to retire and he's getting up there in age as well. So the Suns definitely, need to pull it together if they want to make one last run to the championship. That's just my opinion. I've got the Nuggets here, the Chicken Nuggets. Who you going with, here?
I'm going with the Chicken Nuggets, man. I feel like Paul's definitely been having a bad year. I had him on a fantasy team, and I couldn't stand him not scoring over 10 points a game. And then, eventually he has produced some 20-point games. But it's Booker's team. I think the keys are fully, it's always been his team, but I think the keys are fully over in his hands. And I just think that it's not going to be enough to overcome Jokic, which could be an MVP candidate. And Murray, and like you said, Gordon, he's been playing good, and their supporting cast. So, yeah, dude, I got to go with the Nuggets.
Absolutely. We're eating chicken nuggets on Christmas Day. That's what we're doing while the sun is going down. But that's all the games. And I think the NBA did a great job with putting a lot of these teams together. And kind of like you said, it's kind of funny, not really knowing how the season's going to turn out, how many points they're going to average or whatnot. But, the 76ers have an MVP candidate. The Mavs and the Lakers have an MVP candidate. The Bucks, the Celtics have one. The Grizzlies obviously have one. The Warriors have one in Curry. And then the Nuggets have one. And I just think it's crazy that it just happened to work out like this. And I think this will probably be some of the best Christmas games that we've ever received. Now, I'm going to say this personally, and Reo, you may agree or disagree. I feel like you're probably going to agree on this one, but the best Christmas game that has ever been played that I personally think would be the Warriors versus the Cavaliers in 2016.
I agree with you, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was those crazy jerseys that were, like, cursive.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Kyrie hit, like, one or two step backs on Clay to, like, turnarounds. And, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He did. That game was back and forth. And, I think we'll get another, there's 5 games. I think we at least see 2 buzzer beaters. What do you say?
Oh, yeah, dude. And, dude, I wish that Curry and AD were in this. That would make this so much greater.
I agree with that. I 100% agree. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about before we go here is LeBron James. When he steps on that court and that ball gets tipped up in the air, he will pass Kobe Bryant for the most games played on Christmas Day. He's now currently tied with Kobe Bryant at 16 games, and he will now pass him at 17 games. Rio, what does that just say about, LeBron, playing the most on Christmas?
He takes care of his body, dude. And that's why he's been in the league this long. He might get, 1, 2 more, like, We don't even know at this point how many more. Like he could get a few more Christmas games even, man, and have that record like totally unbreakable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure. You know, because I didn't think no one was going to break Kobe Bryant's record, and obviously now we're here.
right now we're here, and the whole high school, it doesn't really work out like that. You can't really just go from high school. You kind of have to go through international hoops, and there's kind of ways that we're kind of reverting back to it, but you're kind of coming into the league a little later. Um, but yeah, dude, he spends a lot of money and a lot of care and just a lot of attention on his health, and I think that shows. And he's been healthy, and I think he's played all these Christmas games, right? Like he's never been hurt at any of these games.
I think so. I mean, I haven't watched all 16 of his games, but I think he definitely has played them, or at least started all of them. So
Yeah.
there's that. But that's NBA Christmas for you guys, and I know I'll be watching as many games as I can. Rio will be watching the games, and I know you guys out there will be watching. So give your picks in the comments below, and if you disagree, let us know. You know, do you see any buzzer beaters? You know, who do you have for MVP? Obviously, and things like that. So it is Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas, and so we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year as well. And till next time, which will be next Thursday, next Wednesday, actually, and we'll be able to, me, Rio, and hopefully Beagle will be on the channel, and we'll go over and talk about the NFL and what's going to happen, obviously going, into the playoffs as well, because, we don't have many games left, and it's exciting and it's scary and it's nervous because if your team is right there on the brink, are they going to make it in? Are they not going to make it? And what's going to happen? So this is the best time of the year, and I'm glad that we can share it with you guys.